These were my most recent results on my mycotoxin blood serum sample. Crazy, crazy high on a lot of different mycotoxins. You might think I should be bedridden right now. Well, yeah, mold and health. Okay, so let's talk about mold and health. I have been in a lot of moldy homes in my life. I think it did start when I was young. My parents apparently had hired a mold dog to come sniff around because my immune system was rocked and they really couldn't get any answers. I have several theories on what that all was, but it's been a common theme in my life. I remember in some of my teen years and later, some of those environments that I would get much more immune compromised when I was in those environments for a longer period of time. Fast forward years later, I get in this industry and I realize, man, I've been missing the environmental side of health for a long, long time. I only saw health as spiritual, mental, emotional, nutritional, relational, financial, all these different things, but I did not see environmental as one. So the environmental side started to really wake me up to and to a lot of different realizations, as it may have to you. And unfortunately, people don't learn about mold until it hits them. And that's what I'm trying to help change, is that if we can get aware of this and then get proactive with it, we can avoid so many of those horror stories that mold just happened and rocked us, and then we had to spend so much money, we had to get rid of all these things, we got all these extreme recommendations, all of our health was messed up, and there are just so many tough stories out there that I fully empathize with, and I've dealt with hundreds and hundreds of clients over the past 6+ years in this industry where their sensitivities are all different, their experience is all different. I then got married to an amazing wife, Grace, who went to a house when she was 7 or 8 years old, and every single person in her family started to get different symptoms, and she correlated it with that time. But it wasn't until we got married that I even got in the industry and got aware of that. The first place she was living when we were getting married was also very moldy, and then I started to learn about this stuff, and we were out before even checking. I was just getting aware, and that was when our lease was ending, so it was good timing. These exposures happen all throughout our life at different times and seasons of our life and can potentially build up in the body. And that's always the million-dollar question, is what I'm dealing with in my health. Is it a current mold issue or a previous mold issue? Or is it a mold issue at all? And that is the tough one, right? Is even the tests we have on the body, that's not my main area of expertise, but no one has been able to really say this is a current or a previous one, and then how it impacted in different ways. Some people do some deep, deep emotional work. They do some forgiveness work. They do some neural and limbic system brain retraining, and they get some significant results. Other people, they switch up their diet and they get big results. Other people, they get out of a really moldy environment and they see big results. But if you've gotten out of a moldy environment and then you're handling all these different things, all of this is a learning process. Mold comes to teach us and show us so much. So I want to talk about mold and health because everyone's different on this. There's sensitivity levels, there's types and amounts and a cumulative effect. They say the difference between a medicine and a poison is dosage, right? So what's the dosage we're getting of one of these pathogens that is causing a health issue? If you're watching this and you're not convinced that mold can cause health issues, maybe this will help. If you're overly convinced that mold causes every single health issue and every single issue is a mold issue, I really hope that this video will bring kind of a balance to both, that some of my clients or people I've worked with really had to have that realization moment that like, wow, I've been living in a moldy home and that makes sense ever since we moved here, and they have these light bulbs go off that the mold was a significant contributor. And that's a big one. And I've had that throughout my life. I have that even early in the inspection, part of my work is that I go in to do an inspection, it's a very moldy home, and I leave and I feel like I got hit by a truck the rest of the day. Like, wow, that is really, really impactful. I think more and more we get in tune with these different things. And as you could see in my mycotoxin blood samples, I still have some to get rid of, but I'm doing well, I'm thankful, I'm thriving, and there's so many different other aspects to health that if I put all my focus on those mycotoxin results and got tunnel vision just to that, I would probably psych myself out and be adding new symptoms simply because of all the attention and focus and power that I would give that current blood sample. It's just some numbers on a page. It right now is just some numbers on a page, and I'm working on it, and I'm taking full advantage of all the knowledge I have to utilize that and to heal for the long term, but I'm not letting it define me, and that's a key point. I also did an interview with my wife. You can see that 53 minutes long or something, but we did about her history and her realizations of these different things. Her dad ended up with pancreatic cancer after being in that home. How much that contribute, I don't know, but a lot of these studies with fungal pathogens and cancer have been very, that's where the cancer research and fungal pathogens was done, is on pancreatic cancer specifically. The rest of her family had some other issues as well, and the more she described that home, the more I said that was definitely a pretty mold contaminated home. So there's a lot of different factors that goes into mold and health. Let's keep it elementary. Mold is nature's decomposer, okay? It's always been in existence, it always has, always will be, and it's made to recycle and decompose dead and dying material, put it back into the earth, and have its useful place in nature's ecology. What happens though when some of those types get infiltrated into our recycled air box homes and buildings, and now we're breathing 3,000 gallons of air per day, which is the average, in that consolidated environment, that we're now accumulating these spores and toxins and whatever else is in there. There's a lot in this soup of air that we cannot see. Well, mold, being nature's decomposer, is a pathogen that our body will recognize and try to fight off. Or it won't recognize, it'll build up, and then once that starts to build up, then it'll start to fight it off. So there's a lot of different factors on what it's doing in the body. My personal theory here is not medical advice or anything like that. And my specialty is in the homes and buildings and inspecting that and really working alongside health professionals on this. But my theory is this: the two ways that mold impacts the body is it coming in and actually colonizing. And now we have a colonized situation in the body that has to be detoxed out, has to be killed off and pushed out by the detox pathways we have and pushed out. But if we get stuck in that process over and over and over, kill, bind, remove, all that destructive measure, I mean, what are we left with? So the other aspect of this, I think, from all the clients I've had and things I've learned, just binging, different doctors on their perception of this, is that it also weakens the mitochondria. So forget colonization for a minute. Even if we didn't have colonization, what if it's just our cells fighting off this pathogen over and over, losing oxygen and strength in the mitochondria and being just left, our cells are just left tired, left beat down. So some people, that's where, again, they feel like, I've never gotten over mold. Well, what if your body did detox it when you did your detox, but you're left with a really depleted, hurt, compromised mitochondrial, function type of being, and now you're feeling those long-term effects. So I do believe it's in two stages. Again, this is not medical advice. It's my hunch as to what the body is constantly needing, is a good balance of removing things and then also building it back up and strengthening it. And there's different protocols on how to do that, so just look into it. Back to, if you need the education on why is mold even an issue. So like I said, it's nature's decomposer. It's going to be doing a decomposition type of work. And so it's up to us to take advantage of the knowledge we have now to look over our environment, to keep it in a good, healthy, and maintained place, to lower the concentrations of these different pathogens from our airways and from our homes and buildings. And to really then, after we have assessed the home thoroughly, which you can learn all on my page about, now how do we then really strengthen and heal the body? Mold allergies, okay? So some people are just sensitive to more types. Why is my mycophenolic acid from the blood test I took, why is that so much higher than the rest? Well, it could have been a dosage, but there's another little theory I have that my body has had trouble with that one specific one. How do we handle that? There are all these different ways of testing, even in the body, these different fungal loads. And one is the urine analysis, blood analysis. We can look at it from all these different angles. The fact is, microbiology is very complex. A lot of it's invisible, and we just have to do the best we can with what we can to let the body heal. And the body's made to heal if we give it what it needs and we remove the interferences. And mold and mycotoxins can be an interference that we can get ahead of. So just like a pollen allergy, right? One person's going to have an acute response with sneezing, and the other person's totally fine and won't feel it at all. There are dynamics like that with mold. There are, I believe, a lot of misdiagnoses, right? Where people have had neurological issues and Alzheimer's, dementia, things like that, that have caused the brain inflammation and plaque to potentially build up and slow these processes down. And you're just diagnosed with dementia or Alzheimer's or whatever neurological issue. mold can have a systemic effect, and you can learn from good doctors on all this and the different ways it can impact the different areas of the body. And I know it because I've felt it myself, and I've dealt with so many clients who have that. And that sensor that some people have where they go into a building and they know it is, that's a big one. Okay, if you feel different in a home versus out of the home, you're on to something. We need to at least look at that environment. And just being patient with the process of healing, because some people it really does take longer than others. Again, why is one person symptomatic and the other one isn't? There are so many different factors. What is the terrain of the body? Is it already in a weakened state? Are they eating foods that they're chronically allergic to and they don't know it and eating all the time? Are someone's sleep quality just so low and that's why mold they're extra sensitive to? Did they have a massive exposure years and years ago and now they're ultra sensitive to that same type over and over? This is part of the process of learning to be strong and patient along the way. Team up with the right people, learn, let mold teach you. It's a very tough thing when we learn from something that is so painful and at times scary and stressful and has caused these different things. But that can literally be a catalyst for the biggest transformation. I have stories and stories of people who I've worked with who turned the corner and said, I'm going to help someone else with the knowledge that I have. And I'm not going to let my pain keep me down and the hardships I went through, but I'm going to go and help someone else with it. And that's what they've done, and they have even recovered better. Mold is a very interesting thing. I'll do more content on this in the future on what is it teaching us? What is it showing us about taking responsibility for our life, for our body, for our state of mind, our attitude and outlook on things, our home and how we're caring for our environment and the people in our environment? Is it coming to bring a light into our life, as dark as it may feel? Is it showing us, hey, you've been ignoring this, or you've been harboring this belief about yourself or about life is against me, or several different things. Maybe this is not your process at all. Maybe mold is just as easy as it came in the house, it caused an issue, and I need to get rid of it. Other people, it really came to teach them, and it came to show them. And for me personally, and many people I've worked with, I know that it is quite the catalyst for change, growth, and transformation. And really, it's all how we view it. We can view it as that and turn it for good, as tough as it might be. So how does mold impact our health? Why does it impact it the way that it does? Is it current? Is it previous? Is it from something we ingested? Is it from just inhalation alone? These are so many questions that come up, and it keeps people very stressed out that why is this one species showing up in my dust of mold, or this type is the one that really got me, or whatever it might be. So many of these things can be unknown and need to be looked at with patience and persistence, and like I said, ownership and responsibility of our life, knowing with some hope that we can heal. And truly, this is where I know that my faith in God has been the driving force to heal, is asking the Creator, what do I need next? Is there an issue here in this home? Is it from this? Is it from that? And getting guidance and allowing a source of knowledge greater than ourselves, greater than any inspector or any doctor can give you, or any article or blog or whatever it might be. What is God, the one who created us and the one who created the earth? Where is God guiding us in this process? And that's what gives me hope. That's what I hope to impart on this channel and in my consultations with people. And I really, truly have hope for you that you can and will heal, and it will become a part of your purpose and your transformation, because there are so many people struggling with this, from military housing to low-income homes to a brand new build, and a lot of injustices in this industry where people are being gaslit, where builders are cutting corners, where maintenance teams and management companies of rentals are not handling these things well at all. They're dealing with hazardous material, and they're literally making people sick. There's so much that needs done in this industry, from laws to be changed, to good people in this industry, to honesty, to not being overly money hungry in an industry that can quite literally cost tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands for some situations. The awareness is growing. Work with the right people. Follow your intuition along this. Don't get so caught up in the beta brainwave state of stress and tension and fight, flight, or freeze. Take a breath, get still, find the direction that's best for you, who you resonate with the most. Go to a solution-oriented approach, not an impulsive fear approach, but really just take it one step at a time. And I really believe that all of this hardship and confusion at times and stress can really turn for good. So I'd love to help you with that if I can. I hope this video helped in some way. I hope a few portions of this video may help you realize maybe mold is a part of the equation for my health or for my family. For the rest of you who maybe are fully convinced that mold is the is the devil and is the source of all the problems, maybe can just show you that holistic picture to say, you know what, I'm going to actually start to look at this differently. I'm going to start to put it under my feet, and you may see new content coming up. What if mold could stand for my own life's devils? My own life's devil, okay? And what if we could look at that devil and turn it into a discovery that could really turn into a destiny for us that could shift our entire life and our whole life story? And that's what I believe our own personal life's devil, whatever it might be, came to serve us, and came that we would face up with things that were very, very hard for us, and it would show us our strength. And we say, it's time for you to serve us and not us serve that devil, whatever it may be, anymore. So today, we can choose to forgive. Today, we can choose to look at things differently. Today, we can look at our gifts and say, what am I really called for? What am I gifted in? What am I naturally moving towards? I don't want to be in resistance to what's truly in my heart to go and do. Am I working a dead-end job that I absolutely hate? Am I holding so much bitterness on a family member that has been wasting my time and energy for so long? Am I feeling victim to a diagnosis that I have now owned as my identity for so long? Have I been in denial of my family, my wife's sickness for so long that it's literally caused an issue in our marriage because I can't just sit and listen to her? Mold is teaching us so many things if we look. It thrives in the dark. What are we keeping in the dark that needs the light? I have 20 plus other potential representations of what mold could be showing us at a mental, emotional, relational, spiritual way. And I'll be releasing much, much more of that. Mold, my own life's devil, will be changed and overcome. And I believe you'll be able to heal and in your purpose like never before.